Welcome to Steel Curtain Productions. Please hit the like, subscribe down below in your right hand corner and share it with your friends and family. And if you come across the channel, please don't leave without subscribing and hitting the likes. I would muchly appreciate that, and thanks to those who are my viewers. All right, as it states here, this is a review of the Giants coming into the Steelers building last night. What a game. Interesting game. Scary game. What can I say? We're going to give you the stats first. All right, 18 for the Giants, 26 for the Steelers. First quarter, 6-3 for the Steelers. Second quarter, we get 6-3 for the Giants. So we had a 9-9 tie after the first half. Then the Steelers added a touchdown in the third quarter. And then in the fourth quarter, we got 9 points from the Giants and 10 points from the Steelers, which ended up being 26-18. Now, this score is very deceiving. Now, we're going to give you the rest of the stats, and then I'm going to talk about it. Okay, total yards, 394 for the Giants, 426 for the Steelers. That's a great ratio. 264 passing yards for the Giants, 278 for the Steelers. Rushing yards, 157 for the Giants, 167 for the Steelers. Total plays, 67 to the Steelers, 63. Average yards per carry, this is where it counts. 5.9 for the Steelers, or for the Giants, and 6.8 for the Steelers. So we win the crucial battles. That's where stuff counts. First downs, 20-17. There's another stat that really counts, is important. Third down, efficiency, 46 for the Steelers, 33 for the Giants. So that's another telling tale of who played better ball overall. Penalties, 11. Giants were so undisciplined, but we had enough issues. We got to be careful. We had 5. We had half of what they had, but we know a couple of our penalties cost us touchdowns. Penalty yards, 65-50 for the Giants. Turnovers, 2 for the Giants, 1 for the Steelers. Tackles, 72, which is odd, for the Giants, to 67 for the Steelers. QB sacks, 4 apiece. Sack yards lost, 27-19 for the Giants. Time of possession, and it was very strange because usually it's time of possession is another stat that usually has to work in your favor for a victory. However, it wasn't in our favor last night, 30-42. So they had plenty of chances, and 29 for us. And that tells you that the defense was doing their job for the Steelers a bit. Although they had some break. There's areas where I've been calling it all year. So now we're going to get to the actual scoring summary. 10-23, Boswell gets a 31-yard field goal attempt, and it's good. Of course, he's money in the bank. They have a good kicker in their organization now as well. 5-23, Joseph gets a 29-yard field goal for them. Then we go to, again, 3:08 left. Boswell gets a 25-yard field goal. Then we go into the second quarter. Joseph gets a field goal at 12:43, 39-yarder. 8:15, Boswell gets a 27-yard field goal. That was at 8:15. 25 seconds left. You get Joseph getting a field goal. Then we go to the third quarter. This is where the tale is told. 4:38, Hack punts a 54-yard field goal. No, actually, Hack tried to kick. Basically, he punts 55 yards, to the Steelers' 27-yard line. And what a great run. This is the return run of the story of the game. What can you say about Austin III? Just incredible. Great special teams. That's what won us the game. Touchdown. And they also had a penalty on the Giants for that, but didn't need it. Boswell gets the extra point. They didn't need it for an illegal formation. Fourth quarter, we get 13-16. Wilson passes for a deep left. Beautiful complete catch made by Austin again. 29 yards. And the speed and the talent of Austin was very crucial, and Boswell gets the extra point. Although we might have thought we were in the clear, and then the Giants started cranking it up. Some mistakes made on our end. 11:07. Tracy, he was a problem for us all night, and he rushed for 45 yards, touchdown, conversion attempt, and they get it. They fails, actually. It failed. Sorry, that attempt failed. So 11-2 2-point conversion did not succeed. 7-19. Boswell gets a 27-yard field goal again. And then we get it 5-10. Joseph getting a 48-yard field goal. That was the end of your game. That was it, history. And what can you say? Austin III was a huge reason the team won. Russell Wilson played a good, strong, solid game. Gotta like the way he's playing. He played like a vet. You can see that he's lost some mustard on his arm over the years, but he still is accurate, and he still can throw reasonably well in certain. He's just very intelligent with the ball. The only time was the only play out of him I didn't like was when he was unaware. Unfortunately, though, that's on your line as well. Offensive line still shows periodic signs of problematic ball. When you get around the line and you come up from behind, and like it came up from behind Wilson, and that's where you got a fumble. That's the thing Russell Wilson has to be a little aware of, because he had no idea that somebody was coming up from behind. He had absolutely no when he got blindsided. So that they got to get a little aware of. That O-line still needs to continue to work. We got to work on Broderick Jones. I don't understand how a talent to that degree, who looked so damn good last year, is getting the penalties. He's getting and we would have slaughtered the Giants had we not have had those 2 touchdowns taken away from us. When you think of his play, and you get Pickens, who made a nice catch in there, and it's taken away because Broderick Jones is yanking on somebody, and I think it was a mass call. Either way, he's doing this repetitiously in game after game, and I don't know what's in his head, but they got to do some serious work with him, because yes, at least he's calmed it down where it's not 3 or 4 plays like that, but it's enough to be. You got to be on top of it, because those we got the first half of the season behind us now. We got a bye week next week. That's a week to rest. But as we come back, we got some serious ball going to happen in the second half, and we got a real strong competitor with the Washington Commanders that are no joke. And don't be surprised if we take a pounding in that one, because they're an uprising team. They look strong. They've got a massively solid defense, so I'm concerned with that matchup. And so they got time to practice. It's great. I like seeing us out at 6-2, but now you're really going to see what we're made of when the second half starts. It looks all fine and dandy that the Steelers are in first in their division, and that looks all fine and dandy on paper. That I would not, Steelers fans, get too caught up in, because I don't know how long that'll last. So you better savor it now while we're there, because we got a lot of. I mean, it's going to be a lot of divisional games now, and you got teams like I say. When you look at the NFC, to go up against Commanders, that's not really a matchup you want right now. It's that's kind of one of the better teams over there. So we're going to have to be on our toes. We're really going to find it, because all of us have question marks. What is this team? I've got big, and I've been concerned continually about the linebackers. In between your linebacker, that's mostly the area I get a little concerned, and between your secondary, they're always. And I think it's more play calling. They leave too many gaps, and I don't know if it's on the individuals not following through properly, or if it's the coaches. Because to me, it's looking like a coaching issue. For the the roster they have in that area, to me, it looks like it's not jiving because there's some sloppiness, too much space being given up in that area, and I've noticed that in a lot of our games, even though we're coming up with wins. I think real solid teams are going to attack that, and that's when you're going to find out what this team is about, because any good team would be attacking that. And I mean, Giants weren't a good team, so we got to be concerned. Although we could have slaughtered them without the penalties, and then again, um, you got to have Pickens as young as he is, and he makes fabulous catches. When he does get a catch in the end zone, there's another instant. He could have had exceptional numbers had he have not had Broderick Dude take a penalty, and then on another play, he doesn't get his second foot down. You got to be aware of your surroundings. You have to be. This is something that the wide receiver coaches are going to have to work on with him. His awareness, he's fabulous to watch. His speed and smarts are great, but awareness when you're in the end zone and you're going to be leaping and somebody's going to hit you when a ball's thrown into the end zone in those certain plays, you got to be aware where your feet are. Things like that. That's how the Steelers have won games when they had historical teams. They had their players were exceptional, were always aware where their feet were. That's why you had that exceptional catch, against the Cardinals in the Super Bowl, our second Super Bowl under, I believe it was under Tomlin, and I forget, I can't think of the name of the wide receiver. I can see him, but it was an exceptional. You seen him stay in the end zone and just barely hang on the inside of the line with his toes. That's called being aware. That's intelligent, high IQ. They got to start using that, and they got to teach these kids, because sometimes, just a slight adjustment to their game. But Austin, what can you say about that kid? The speed that kid has is just incredible. When the Steelers are in a jam, he comes through. And Harris, he's just a tank. I just love watching that play where he hurdled over their defensive back. It was a gorgeous play, and he just keeps on chugging along. And I think, and I'm hardcore on, they got to get him signed up. He's one of the pieces that is heart of this offense, and he's kind of almost becoming like a veteran as well there. So you want to keep that guy in place. He's just a steamroller. When he takes him a little longer with his first 2 or 3 steps, but once he gets rolling, he's hard to stop, and we can see the opposition has problems with him. Warren played well backing him up, infusing the speed on a fullback situation, and if you want to call it a fullback, their version of a halfback, kind of doing that role. But it's a great 1-2 punch with those two guys. And then you look at Freiermuth making very great blocks and stuff, and he's being utilized wisely. And that's what you want to see, guys fall into the scheme. Again, the turning point, though, after taking bad penalties and you got a tie game, you look at the second half of the game. Who comes through? It's the defensive line of the Steelers. You can count on it. If T.J. Watt doesn't come through, you got problems. Of course, what happens? T.J. Watt comes through. Big sack, big fumble. We repossess the ball. That was huge. T.J. Watt is like money in the bank when it comes to the second half. I don't know why it's the second half when it seems like that line really gets chugging. But you can always count on him coming through, and we're lucky to have him. That's why he's the best defensive lineman in football. Cam Hayward, what more can you say? Consistency. For an old veteran like that, he played solid as a rock. That's what you need on the line to alternate having Watt on one end, and then Highsmith had a fabulous game coming in. He was putting so much pressure on Jones. It was unreal. And that's a good young kid coming off the line, and he's got so much speed, he's hard to contain. Good to have him back after his injury, and that was an exceptional game for him once he got rolling. Other than that, I get, like I say, good to see that Porter didn't go overboard penalty wise. He played the ball well, strong. He's strong in that back end. But what can you say about Mika Fitzpatrick? He just comes through with that big smoking hit and just drills the ball out of the receiver's hands in the air. That's again, there's another guy, another veteran who comes through. That's what we got there, and those were the key points, because we could have destroyed them had we been smarter penalty wise and awareness. But still a good solid game. When you look at 26-18, we could have had a much higher score had we have taken those things into check. We got penalties by rookie and Broderick Jones. We got to get those guys in check. The rookie, I understand a little more. But Jones, he's a second-year player. He's got to be on and he was so darn good last year. That's my problem there. But I like what they're doing now. You look at Neighbors, that wide receivers, that young wide receiver for New York. If the Steelers are smart, we know they've been looking for a number one receiver. Well, I tell you right now, you look at that kid. There's another guy you can put in the profile list. Keep your eye on it. If you could make a deal for him next year, over the off season, there's a guy that you can put in your your little scout book to come up with a deal. Because I wouldn't mind having Neighbors as that guy, even though we haven't gotten some of the guys we wanted. He wouldn't be a bad one to get. So that was one good thing of citing him. He played extremely well for the Giants. So with that, very happy with the results. Special teams was huge in this. Again, the offense was chugging, and it's unfortunate you didn't get to see the numbers that they actually created because of stupid penalties and lack of awareness. But either way, they still played well. Russell Wilson did a great job. Showed you that veteran presence and the difference it makes. And what more can you say about TJ Watt and, again, Hayward and Highsmith? What more can you say? And Porter coming through in the back end, and Mika, just beautiful. So those guys were the key guys on the defense end. So go Steelers, go. You've seen it here at Steel Curtain Productions. We get a week off of taking a break, and we better utilize it well. And let's hope some of the guys come back from injuries. Again, we got through it, but nothing to get cocky about, because remember, don't get over anxious. Savor the moment that we're in first, but don't get cocky, because the second half is going to be telltale. We've been fortunate the way it's gone so far. So please hit the likes, subscribe, share the video. Muchly appreciated. And thank you for your support. Leave your comments, but always keep them mature and respectful, because we don't accept nonsense at this site. All right? So we're all adults. Everybody's entitled to opinions. I have no problem with that. But I don't have time for people that are loose cannons and are just mouth organs looking for trouble. So remember that when we deal with each other, we're adults, and we want everybody being mature and respecting one another. So thank you for watching. We will catch you in the next episode when they come back after the bye week and play the Commanders. Thank you for watching. Go Steelers, go. Go Steelers Nation. God bless.